Kirk, could you go ahead and please tell us your name and your age?
Okay, my name is Kirk. I'm 52 years old. I'm originally from New York, and I've been in Denver for 6 years.
New York City, what part of New York?
I was born in Brooklyn and raised in Queens.
Okay. What was it like growing up?
I was a foster care kid, and I got a brother and sister that went through foster care with me, and all three of us were adopted together when I was 9.
Were you all same birth parents?
Same birth parents.
Okay.
I have 2 older brothers that we were separated with through foster care, and the city seals all the records. They don't let you contact. And so I found my 2 brothers when I was in my 30s.
So you have found them?
Yep.
So the whole family knows
The whole
each other.
family.
God
I
bless.
found out my birth parents both passed away,
Yep.
but I found all my brothers and cousins and aunts and uncles.
Okay. So tell us, so I guess, did you graduate high school in Queens?
I graduated high school just barely.
Just barely?
Yeah, I
You
went to
got it.
4. I started getting into trouble.
What was it barely for? What?
I went to 4 high schools in 4 years. Got kicked out 4 times, and I dropped out because I realized I wasn't going to graduate till I was about 20, and I took my GED, but I scored high enough to get an actual high school diploma.
So clearly, like the requirements weren't the issue. Like
The requirements weren't the issue. I
what
was
was
the
the challenge for
issue.
you in high school?
The challenge was slowing down enough to stay where the rest of the school was at, and I didn't have time for that. My brain is a little overactive,
Why is life so fast for you then?
and so I don't know.
Just the brain? Or-
But I learned how to read, and when I used to go to school, I used to take all my finals in the first month and tell them I didn't have time to come back. You know what I mean? I was busy out on the street.
What did you do after, like in your 20s?
In my 20s, I basically just left home and started traveling. I do housekeeping for a living, and I was trained in a nursing home,
Okay.
so I got all kinds of OSHA training and a good base for a resume.
God bless you for
And then I
serving
just
old
took
people
off.
too.
I went and I lived in Ireland. I
Yeah.
went and I lived in Holland. I came back. I spent 5 years in Europe, just kind of living this kind of life, nomadish.
Yeah, Kirk, how old are you again?
I'm 52.
52. Okay. So what were you doing in your 30s?
In my 30s,
And so the 30s for you would have been what time? What years roughly?
the 30s would have been in
Like 19,
in
like 2000,
the mid 90s, right around 2000.
Yeah. Okay.
I started. I actually got a good opportunity, and I started working in national parks, which I thought was a great idea. It really was. It fit my lifestyle. It was a seasonal summer opportunity where you got enough work in to stack your cash, free room and board, put your money up, and take the winters off. I worked in Yellowstone National Park for 5 years, right at Old Faithful. I worked in Grand Teton for 2 years. I worked at the North Rim of the Grand Canyon for 2 years. But I shattered my leg. That's why I'm out here. I was hiking in the Grand Tetons, and I fell off the mountain, and I destroyed my leg.
So when you say fell off a mountain, what does that mean?
I was summiting Mount Moran in Wyoming, and I fell off a crevasse,
Okay.
and I fell 46 feet off a cliff.
46 feet. That's got to be like from the top of that building down to here, right?
A little higher than that, yeah.
Higher than that.
And I
You landed on your left leg.
I landed right on my leg. I had 32 breaks in my leg. They almost cut my leg off because I was drunk. But they put titanium rods in it. But I lost my job. I lost my housing. I had no savings. I had no insurance. I had no Medicaid, no Medicare, And it was in Jackson, Wyoming, so I came to Denver. And it was December of 2013 when I got here, and I can't take any pain medications. I have allergies. I don't do no drugs or drink anymore. I was drinking until I broke my leg, then I quit. And I came down here to get legal weed for CBDs, for pain relief.
Yeah.
And
Is that working, by the way?
it worked unbelievably well. The hardest part was spending 2 years in Denver on crutches.
So you're
and-
walking without a cane, or
I'm supposed to use a cane,
Does
and
it
I'm
hurt?
supposed to
Do
go
you
in.
feel
It hurts
pain,
every
though?
day,
Okay,
every single
okay,
day.
okay.
It's been almost 7 years now. March it'll be 7 years since I broke, and it hurts every day.
Yeah.
I have 2 titanium rods, and I have bolts through my knees and my ankle. But the insurance right now I'm $72,000 in debt. I broke my leg inside a national park while working, and I got sued by the Park Service for a $9,000 ambulance ride. They've been taking my tax returns, my unemployment, and keeping me. There's no way to fight them.
You're an indentured servant of the government, right?
I'm an indentured servant. I didn't even get a incentive check because the Department of the Interior told me point blank, we don't have to answer to anybody. You owe us money, we're taking it.
So they're above the law.
They're above the law.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just sorry for you. I'm
And
sorry. But,
the tough thing about Denver is that when it comes to homeless issues, everybody wants to fix it, but they think that you could plug a hole in Hoover Dam by stuffing bags full of cash in there, and it doesn't work like that.
Tell us the way to solve the homeless problem.
I think-
What do you need to educate us? That's why we're here.
I
actually.
think the
So-
best thing Denver needs, and I think it's starting to happen now,
Yeah.
is to get the middlemen out of the way that aren't helping.
Be specific.
Specifically, the Denver Rescue Mission. The Denver Rescue Mission has a conflict of interest right off the bat.
Why?
They run the MOC, which is the Citywide Donation Center.
Okay.
To me, that's a conflict of interest. They've got millions of dollars worth of product that they don't need to show a receipt for and don't need to show that they gave it to homeless people to help. It just disappears. When they went out to the Coliseum, they bought 2,000 down comforters because the building was closed. The manager decided they weren't giving them to us, and they all disappeared. But they don't have to answer to anybody for that because they're helping homeless people and the city's paying them. So they get
in
$20
other
million
words,
a year to
society-
keep themselves in business.
So what we want is to pay enough money to feel like we're doing something, and we don't want to see the problem. We want these organizations to solve it for us.
Right.
And what you're saying is they operate above the law. Well, I don't want to say anything. That's what I'm hearing.
Well,
but,
that's the way I see it. The way I see it is where the Denver Rescue Mission is, especially since they're building in that neighborhood, building up brand new buildings. Young people want to come here and work and make money. I understand that. They don't want to see these people out on the street, meaning us, right? Well, the way isn't to give the Denver Rescue Mission $25 million and tell them to put us all away. That's prison. You know what I'm saying? These are people, we're people that want to live our lives every day. Okay, so the younger people understand that their money's not fixing that problem. We're still here. Look at Hickenlooper. 10 years ago, he was going to solve the homeless problem. He hasn't done anything. It hasn't even gotten a little bit better out here. Not even a little bit, right? But they pat themselves on the back because they all got big fat paychecks. They're all driving around in Cadillacs, and the poor people still can't even get a bus ticket. I've seen people lose their jobs because they can't fit their schedule to the mission, and if they don't personally go and complain because of a medical issue or a legal issue, then nothing happens, right? The mission is legally responsible if they're proved to keep you down. So if they tell you, we can't give you a bed tonight because you work overnight and we're not going to accommodate you, they're liable for that, but people don't know that, and so we go outside on the street. And that should, for the amount of money they get, that shouldn't happen. That's a $25 million a year crime that happens every year here.
I mean, if they're public, then they'll have a. I know what the filing is. I'll look for it. Yeah,
I've had police officers getting kicked out of the mission. When I was still on crutches, I got jumped right in front of the mission door. And the security called the police on me because I was screaming and cursing, right? And I was causing a commotion, and I probably deserved to get my leg rebroken, right? And the police told me the Denver Rescue Mission is a private organization and they're allowed to do anything they want. And I said to them, they didn't educate you very well. So.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't want to say anything bad, but anyway.
I just think that there's too many middlemen in Denver to actually help the homeless
That
problem.
makes a lot of sense.
And if they get rid of the middlemen, the people that are getting $90,000 a year salaries, $90,000 buys a lot of coffee, a lot of bus tickets, and gets a lot of people a tie to go to an interview. You know what I mean? Even a hot meal, so you're energized enough to get your own. I don't believe in taking a hand out, but I'll take a hand up. And there's no hand up from any of these agencies in Denver. I got kicked out of St. Francis for life while I was on crutches. And when this started, I told them, I'm trying to get my incentive check. All I need is proof of an address. I'm not asking you to lift my bar, but just please help me for one day. And the guy stood there like this and said, no, I'm not going to do it.
Okay, so in this situation, you need a proof of address to get mail.
Yep.
essentially. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And they hold all the cards. They control everything that you do. You don't have mail? Well, too bad. Well, if you weren't lazy, you'd get a mailing address. Oh, you need a bus ticket? Well, if you weren't lazy, you'd get there. Or if you weren't drunk or high. Now, all of a sudden, they're not responsible for anything.
I see. Okay.
Right? But they're getting paid to be responsible.
Uh-huh. All right.
I had a friend that had MS, and it was the winter time. It was the first year I got here, 2014, and the guy told him, "I'm not letting you in, you're drunk." And he said, "I'm not drunk, I have MS." He may have been interviewed. He's terminal MS patient. He's in a wheelchair now. And he walking like this, and he said, "Look, I have MS. I can take a urine test. It's February, it's snowing." And the guy said, "No, it's my word against yours. I think you're drunk, so get out." It's just for 24 hours. And so jokingly, I said to him, I'm from Brooklyn, I'm a smartass, right? I said, listen, they're just picking heads because they're over occupancy rate. So they're just randomly kicking heads out. So give me 5 minutes to get a cup of hot coffee and I'll kick myself out and go join you. And the director got right in my face and said, "You're disrespectful coming in here talking shit to me." I said, "I don't know who you are," and I didn't say a word to you. I don't think you understand what disrespect is. You're disrespecting me by coming and screaming in my face. You know what I mean? And I'm on crutches. Well, now you can go. Okay, so you're going to kick a cripple out now, too, because you're angry. This doesn't have nothing to do with nothing except that you're mad. Right? And so they called the cops and kicked me out and told me I was barred for life. I kind of hit him with my crutch. So I got barred for hitting him with the crutch. But the homeless task force police were there. And they were telling the homeless police, when they called the police, they sent the homeless task force and they told them, "Look, the guy can't walk." And he was like, "I don't care. I want him charged and I want him to go to jail." And the cops were like, "We're not going to do it." You know what I mean? Like, leave the guy alone. He already kicked him out. And that's basically what it comes down to. It comes down to you don't have no choice. They're going to make it. You know what I mean? I needed services that day. I didn't have any choice. He made that choice. You know what I mean? And he made the choice right off the bat by coming up screaming and cursing at me. There was no reason for it. He knows what business he's in. He's not dealing with St. Peter. You know what I mean? And so if I need help, I might be a little agitated. But I'm going to tell you how I need it. So.
Personally, I'm a pain in the ass, and I screw up relationships. I get in a lot of trouble. It's hard dealing with people sometimes because I'm like, this is how it's supposed to be, and this is how. Does that make sense to you? Is that you?
That's me to a T. I've been trying to learn how to take the services I need without giving my personal opinion on anything. I try to just, if I know something's not going to work for me, I'm going to remove myself from it. And so I end up spending a lot of time by myself. And I'm trying not to do that because I think that adds to what they call the mission condition. You're becoming less and less social. And I'm a social animal until people start ruining it for me. So I try not to let people ruin it for me because that's my call. It's my patience, it's my wherewithal. If I go screaming and cursing at somebody, even if he's not going to give me a sleeping bag I need, well, now he's never going to give me a sleeping bag, so I try not to be like that, you know.
What you called it mission condition, which I love. It's a good expression. How many people, what percentage of guys on the street, women, people on the street have that problem? Dealing with people?
Well, it's like the book written about Jim Morrison, No One Here Gets Out Alive. Well, that's only half the story. With a long enough timeline, no one here gets out alive. So the longer you out here, it doesn't matter what the reason is, whether it's mental or drugs or family problems at home. The more you're out here and the less help you're getting, the worse that gets. You don't understand how to relate to people. I don't. I walk around being snarky all the time. "Hey man, can you tell me what time it is?" "I don't carry any cash." "Good, I'm gonna eat your kids first." Okay, cool. Since we're not communicating, right? "Hey, can you tell me what time it is?" "I don't have any cigarettes left." "All right, well then drop dead, sir. Have a wonderful evening." "Oh, now you heard me."
Have you ever actually told somebody you were going to eat their kids?
Many, many times. I've been telling people antisocial behavior promotes the plague, right? People don't have a right to talk down to somebody else when they can't clean up dog shit in front of a $2,000 a month apartment. You know what I mean? I tell people whatever will get through to them without being rude.
Wait, eating their kids is not rude.
Well, no, if it wakes them up a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, oh, hey, look, you got, oh, I'm so glad everything's getting back to normal. Really? Please help. I need a $5 cold brew. You know what I mean? I need a $9 egg salad sandwich. No, you don't have one of those? Okay, I'm gonna eat your kids. They're too fat anyway. You know? They're young enough, you'll make another one. You're not that attached to them. But of course, that's part of the reason I'm out here. You know what I mean? Is because I see less and less a reason for people. PC, there's got to be, you're either PC or you're not, but there's got to be a middle there somewhere. And that's what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find that middle. Because PC don't work. You know what I mean? Like, hi there, poor guy getting rained on. God bless. And off they go. Well, what did that... That's like the guy I read this thing about Black Lives Matter. And I don't want to get into politics because people get angry, right? And he said, people are protesting, people are writing things, right? Black Lives Matter. And here's the thing. That's like saying, please help, people are hungry. Please help, people are hungry. Please help, people are hungry. You can do that for months, and you can get donations, and you can spread the word, and people are still hungry. You know what I mean? People need help out here. People need resources. All the resources are here. Denver's got some, Colorado's got some of the most incredible, that's the drug rehab, Fort Lyons. It's the most incredible place I ever heard. They don't have nothing like that in New York. You're a drug addict, they tell you go in the subway. I don't care. You know what I mean? But here they take care of you because they want to see you taking care of yourself, right? But then they get all the middlemen involved, right? There's a guy 2 years ago at the Denver Rescue Mission that was a director that they let go because they caught him taking $93,000 out of donation money and buying a Cadillac. But they let him go before the city found out he had his hand in their money. You know what I'm saying? So now they're not liable for what he took because they let him go. He gets to keep the 93 grand in the caddy, so everybody wins, right? Except for us who needed that $93,000.
Let me ask, I have no way, what you're telling me sounds terrible, it sounds kind of true, and I'll dig in as much as I can. Let me ask you, maybe it was even before you got started, but is there a moment in your life where you went left instead of right? Is there a place where you feel like...
Oh yeah, it went way off the rails. And I was so young, I was in high school, and I really stopped paying attention. I mean, I kind of led a different kind of life than a lot of people, and that's from being in foster care. And so by the time I was 6 years old, I already learned I don't have to pay attention to any adults. I got a younger brother and sister that I got to look out for. And I'm 6 years old because I was their family, right? And so all of a sudden, I wasn't a very responsible adult. I wasn't a very educated adult, but I was an adult. And I didn't, that's the only life I knew. You know what I mean? And then when I got adopted and mom and dad were there to take care of my brother and sister, I didn't have to give a shit about anything in life anymore. I really didn't. And I didn't have any reason to. I didn't have any expectations. I didn't have any hopes. I had nothing to look forward to. And so my life was mine. You know what I mean? Finally, at 14, 15, I was doing a lot of heavy narcotics. I did a lot of really bad shit. I got shot when I was 17. It was a bad deal. My mom told me, go away, disappear. You know what I mean? This is your problem, you right? And the law was after me, that's why I took off to Europe. And I found out after a couple of years the law wasn't after me. But that was it. I destroyed everything. You know what I mean? I had no family, I had no nothing. And so I'd just been trying to make it every day. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find people. I got some good friends out here. We kind of look out for each other. I have a little girl. I have no contact with. I met her mom at Yellowstone, and part of the reason I was out here when I first broke my leg was because all my savings, my ex wouldn't come after me for child support, and I found out was because she had 3 other guys giving her money. And so I went to Indiana right after I broke my leg, and I went to the family court judge and told him I have $8,000 in escrow. It's for my daughter. It's so her mom don't hoodwink me and come after me, but I need to have my name on my daughter's birth certificate. You know what I mean? And it's part of me being adopted. I want my little girl to know that even though her dad's a fuck up and useless, he loves her. Because I didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? I gave up. I gave up a lot of my life for her. And if I didn't have that little girl, I probably would have killed myself. So I'm out here trying to put it all back together. All I got to do is get this part right and keep contact with my daughter. That's all that keeps me going. I want to get off the streets. You know what I mean? I'm tired of Denver, but I want to see it get better. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just... I spent my whole life packing up and leaving. You know what I mean? And I love Colorado. I really do. I love the mountains, you know? And I want to stay in Colorado, just not in an urban situation. But this whole thing, a lot of my life has been anti-government, blah, blah, blah. And it's about taxes, and it's about people keeping people down, and it's a huge issue. The more I educate myself, the more depressed I get. And the only way to go back into it is to go back in the system. Go back and work for $10 an hour for some asshole that gets tax breaks and don't give a shit about me. But it's something I got to do to keep my little girl going. You know what I mean? She's 10 years old. I haven't seen her since she was 2. But she knows I'm her dad. You know what I mean? She knows that I love her. And she knows a little bit about what I'm living, you know what I'm saying? As much as a kid that age needs to. You know? So.
Last question I got for you. You said that you got clean after.
Yeah, I quit drinking.
How did you come? Because I know that's not just a sentence. That's
Well, I had quit narcotics really after I got shot when I was 17. All I did was smoke pot and drink. And I come from a drinking family. My younger brother, my blood brother, he's 48 now, and he's already got cirrhosis of the liver. He's already in a long-term detox. My biological mother died at 40 of cirrhosis of the liver, so it runs my family. But I never had any bad effects from alcohol. I could drink all night long, wake up sober at 6 in the morning without a clock, go to work. I was always, I can't think of that word, but like productive. I could maintain and drink all I wanted. I was drinking $80 a day. I'm 115 pounds. You know what I mean? But when I broke my leg, I realized I had started having blackouts where I wouldn't be unconscious, but I wouldn't remember what I did. And that's how I broke my leg. I was hiking the mountain with a group of friends, and I just went terracing around the campsite, went right off the side of a cliff. And when I got lucky, it was a miracle that I had broke my leg in the Tetons. Anywhere else in the country, they would have cut my leg off. When I got to the ER, I blew a .38 on their alcohol meter, and the doctor immediately said, "We can't operate on him, cut his leg off." And the other doctor told me, point blank, "I'm the best orthopedic surgeon alive. I'm gonna fix your leg." You know what I mean? But you're probably never gonna walk. And so it took me 2.5 years after that to be able to walk. But from that day, I stopped drinking. I realized that I was killing my brain, and my brain was gonna kill the rest of me for it. So I didn't do it for anybody else, not even for my daughter. I did it for myself. That was 7 years ago almost, give or take. You know, every day I'm above ground, I'm making it. And right now my issue is that I have My mom is 91. She's been in a hospital since June. My brother and sister live with her. My brother's in detox. My sister is a psycho that everybody's afraid of. Yep. And so they won't tell me anything about how sick mom is and blah, blah, blah. And I'm the black sheep of the family and I'm cast out and I'm 2,000 miles away. But they're drinking, they're taking my mom's money, they're taking her house. You know what I mean? And I don't even drink anymore, but I'm the black sheep of the family. You know what I mean? And so I'm trying to figure out how to get back to New York so I can turn things around for all of us. You know what I mean? I keep telling my mom, look, life is too short. You know what I mean? It took me 52 years to realize that everyone's going to disappear for no reason, right? And so while we're here, we got half a second to make it as good as possible. I don't want to hate on nobody. I don't want to hold a grudge on nobody anymore. I'm too old for all that. I give up on all that. I don't hustle, you know what I mean? I don't shoplift. I don't do none of that. Why? Because it's all about one love. I really believe that. I think that whether you believe in God or not, there's only one reason there's 8 billion of us on this planet. It's because we all need every single one of us. We really do. So, that's why I try to keep myself positive and come out here and keep myself with positive people. So, try to help when I can.